All right, welcome back everyone for another deep dive. Today we're tackling something pretty crucial for anyone really, but especially if you're into self-improvement.
Mm.
It's all about the company you keep. We're looking at this excerpt that basically says the people around you can seriously impact your personal growth.
For better or worse, right.
Right.
It's like that saying, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
Yeah, I've heard that one.
It really makes you think about who you're letting influence you.
This excerpt even has this really powerful quote.
Oh, yeah?
It says, "You cannot change the people around you,
Sure.
but you can change the people you choose to be around."
That's a good one.
So
Yeah.
it's not about trying to force people to change,
Right.
but being more deliberate about who you're spending your time with.
It's about taking ownership of your environment, you know?
Exactly.
Like, think about it.
Yeah.
Do the people you hang out with lift you up or drag you down?
Because the excerpt even talks about how sometimes you have to separate from people to grow, even if they're not, like, bad people.
Yeah, I think that's where things get tricky.
Yeah.
It's not always black and white.
Right.
Sometimes it's people who are going through a rough patch.
Hmm.
Or maybe your paths in life are just diverging.
Like different goals and stuff.
Exactly.
And that can make things tough.
It can.
But the excerpt doesn't actually use the word toxic to describe anyone.
That's interesting.
Like, it recognizes that negativity isn't always intentional.
I think that's a really important point.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people just don't realize the impact they're having.
Yeah.
It's like, have you ever heard of the secondhand smoke analogy?
Oh, yeah.
Like, you don't have to be the one smoking to experience the harmful effects.
Right.
It's the same with negativity.
It can rub off on you.
Exactly.
Even if it's not directed at you.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the solution then?
Well, the excerpt suggests surrounding yourself with positive people and happy thoughts.
And it even says that'll make your life blossom and grow with success.
It does.
But is that realistic?
Well, I mean, who doesn't want a life full of sunshine and rainbows, right?
Right.
But I think the key is not to get hung up on this idea of constant positivity.
Because it's probably not going to happen.
Exactly.
They're going to be ups and downs.
Sure.
So then what?
Well, I think it's more about consciously cultivating a supportive and encouraging environment.
How do you use that?
Well, for starters, be mindful of who you're spending your time with.
Okay.
Are they people who build you up or tear you down?
Makes sense.
And then be proactive about seeking out positive communities.
What, like support groups?
Yeah, this could be great.
Okay.
But also think about local groups, online forums, workshops.
So finding your people.
Exactly.
People who share your interests.
And who lift each other up.
And this excerpt also says, surround yourself with only positive people and happy thoughts.
Right.
And it almost makes it sound too simple.
I see what you mean.
Like, just be happy and good things will happen.
Yeah, I get it.
But maybe there's more to it.
There definitely is.
So how do we take action on this?
Well, it starts with being intentional about our choices.
Like, actively choosing who we spend time with.
Exactly.
And not just letting things happen by default.
Right.
Because, like you said, the people we surround ourselves with, it's like planting seeds in our mental garden.
I like that analogy.
Right. So are we planting seeds that will nourish us and help us grow?
Or are we going to let those mental weeds take over?
That's a good question.
It is, and it's something we all have the power to decide.
So to wrap things up,
Yeah.
what would you say is the biggest takeaway from all this?
I'd say it's this.
Okay.
If you could design your ideal support system, who would be in it?
Ooh, that's a good one.
And why those people? What qualities do they have?
Because ultimately,
Yeah.
it's about surrounding ourselves with people who inspire us, who challenge us in a positive way,
Absolutely.
and who celebrate our wins with us.
People who help us become the best versions of ourselves.
That's what it's all about.
It is.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We hope you've gotten some food for thought and maybe even some inspiration. Take a closer look at your own circle of influence. And I'll catch you next time.